Steve, a couple weeks back, we made a big announcement on this show and elsewhere, and we were very proud to partner with Mascot for the Great Lakes Collectors Convention. This is really a game-changing platform for us and for the industry, and pretty excited to welcome here Ezra Levine in a couple minutes. No relation, as we've seen as of yet, but you never know. So we'll get into Mascot and talk about what this is and how to use it, and particularly for our vendors and exhibitors. Really excited about this. Steve, what does this mean to you as far as a partnership goes with Mascot?
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw that this platform was in the industry, I thought, man, how do we get this in our shows? I mean, they're with the Burbank show, with the Chantilly show, with the Philly show, Dallas, and you know, I, with the vendors that we have, we thought this was a perfect match. So we contacted Ezra and we discussed the particulars, and ultimately, came to the conclusion that this would be a terrific platform for our vendors and for the customers that will be walking around our show April 5th through the 7th.
Absolutely. And I just want to bring to attention, there's a lot of interesting things that people are saying. And one of your guys, Gary Vaynerchuk, over here, and I quote, once people understand that they're going to shit. So we can say that, not on broadcast TV, but that's a direct quote from Gary. And with that note, why don't we go ahead and welcome in the CEO of Mascot himself, Ezra Levine. Ezra, thank you for joining us and for being here today.
Of course, guys. Yeah, we're also excited about this. I think this is gonna be a really great partnership. And so, we always look for partners who kind of share our vision and share, this kind of forward thinking of, the industry and how, in particular with trade shows, how to build a product that vendors feel like promoters have done everything they can do to make the show as successful as it can be, and to help them, kind of make the show as liquid as possible. And for attendees, we're thrilled that the product has really made it very easy to find items that you're looking for when you go to these very large shows. Sometimes it's like finding like a needle in a haystack, where you can spend an entire day looking for something and you're looking for something in particular, and it's impossible to find. So we're really, really excited to work with you guys and your customers and your vendors. And I'm more than happy to be here and to explain a little bit about what Mascot is, both for the trade shows, but also for any other purpose as well.
Perfect.
So let's kind of take that back to the beginning and simplify this. What is the need that Mascot fills in the industry? What was the vision for you to fill in that gap?
Yeah, I mean, so what we found is a lot of people were interested in selling items, period, but found that selling was pretty clunky and it required too much time, and it was too long to list items, and ultimately people were looking for a better solution to list items more and faster, and to really maximize the potential of selling items. What we also discovered was that a lot of people are listing items not just on one marketplace, but on multiple marketplaces. And they were smart in realizing that by doing so, you're getting the most amount of eyeballs for your stuff and probably sell more than you would just on one marketplace. But the feedback we heard was that it's too hard, because you're putting yourself at risk for double sales. You're putting yourself at risk for negative feedback if you forget to remove the listing. Items sell on multiple marketplaces at the same time, what have you. So, we said, look, that there has to be a better way to do this, right? There has to be a way where you can, blast items out to multiple marketplaces without any additional work, without any, risk of double sales, without any, having to do any manual delisting. So that's really what Mascot solves, right? You create one listing in Mascot, and we made it very easy to list on Mascot. And you can send it out to right now 7 different marketplaces all at the same time. So you can send to 7 different places all at the same time. And when you sell on one marketplace, Mascot automatically and instantly removes the listings from all other channels. So there's no risk of double selling, and there's really no additional work in listing across 7 different marketplaces.
I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, right? I mean, it's that simple, and that's why you're here to show our vendors how simple that it really, really is.
Yeah, for sure. It is really simple. We're working with probably 7,000 people. Oftentimes are really high volume sellers, some of the biggest kind of dealers in the world, some of the biggest hobby shops in the world, the biggest trade shows in the world, who really found Mascot to be of significant value to them. We hear things like, I'm selling a lot more than I was before. There's one prominent example where, sales are up over 500% using Mascot. There's tons of examples where people say, you've saved me so much time. I was going to hire 3 other people to do what Mascot can do for me automatically. So we're really, really pleased with the traction we've gotten, and also really excited about, the application for trade shows. I know we're talking about kind of what the core business does. And we definitely want, your customers to be aware of that as well. But, for trade shows, the real need we're solving here is that, vendors, it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time and a lot of effort to kind of set up at shows. And we want people to feel like they're getting, the best possible experience and getting their items in front of as many people as they possibly can. So when dealers upload their inventory to Mascot, we're able to essentially create a website, almost a marketplace, if you will, where people can search for items that are available on the trade show floor. And people, both attendees of the show, but also anyone in the hobby community, can then search for specific items, know which dealer has it, and then kind of buy it and browse it directly through the embedded links on Mascot.
I mean, and even for the vendors, I mean, they can search what other vendors have prior to the show or at the show.
Yeah, Steve, great point there. I mean, what we hear oftentimes is, and we were just at the Philly show and we were at Burbank, we've done this with a couple of big shows. It's a great point because a lot of dealers, they have a booth and they're sort of, they're sort of confined to that booth space during the show. They might have maybe an hour, maybe 10 minutes to go out and, try to acquire inventory, right? To buy inventory as well. So as opposed to having to walk around the entire show floor, they can quickly search on Mascot, find what other dealers have, and then spend that time really wisely to go out and say, hey, okay, I know I'm just going to focus on this table because they have the type of inventory that I'm looking to acquire.
Right. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, it seems to solve such a need at the shows and such a time saver for people that, like you said, and even customers that, can only come during lunch or, whatever their window is. What a need this fills for them.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, when you talk to, we've got, kind of the benefit of being at these shows for 3-4 days. But, for the average attendee who comes for a couple hours, maybe they have a kid who's pulling at their leg. Maybe they have other obligations. Maybe they're coming during lunch or coming for a couple hours on the weekend. Being able to just find something quickly that they want. If they're looking for something particular, being able to search Mascot, find out exactly where it is, go to that table, kind of get that item that they want. That's for them, what could take a minute used to take hours, if at all. So really, really exciting applications for the uptake. From the shows we've done, the Philly show, we're doing the Chantilly show, Burbank card show, Dallas card show has really been very exciting to see.
Yeah.
If you want to kind of walk us through what this looks like when you end up on the Mascot site.
Yeah. So here's a quick example. We just came off the Philly show. It was our second time doing the Philly show. So here's essentially what a finished product of this will look like. There are tens of thousands of pieces of inventory which are uploaded by dealers. You can see some of the featured dealers in the top portion of the website. So again, there are tens of thousands of items uploaded here. If you're looking for something in particular, I'll use sort of 1952 Mickey Mantle as an example. So I can just simply type in 1952 Mickey Mantle. I'll put tops, and this is going to pull up all the 52 mantles which were actually at the Philly show. So you can see, it was predominantly based on 2 specific dealers, and you can see images when uploaded by the dealer. I should note that a lot of times dealers don't have to upload any images because we have integrations with all the major grading companies, PSA, Beckett, CGC, SGC, and TAG, where just by putting in a serial number, we'll pull in any images from the grading company's CERT database. So oftentimes you don't have to do anything. You could also import from, if you have listings already on eBay, for instance, you can just quickly import it. It'll take about 30 seconds, and it'll import all of your inventory into Mascot. But, you can see, in this particular case, this dealer named Legacy Cards, they were at booth I, and they had a bunch of Mantle cards. You could see how they priced out the item. You can then click into it. So it'll tell you what the item is. It'll tell you the serial number. It'll show you a high-res front and back image, for instance. And then if you're interested in the item, you can't transact directly on Mascot yet, but you can go into View Store, and there's 2 links that the dealer provided you, right? So they have their Instagram handle and they have their own website. On both of those, you could reach out to the dealer and say, hey, I saw your Mickey Mantle card, on Mascot, I'd love to buy it, right? That's if you're not at the show. If you're at the show, you can see where the dealer is located, because it'll say right down here in the bottom right-hand corner of each listing, booth I. So if you're at the show, you can just go over to booth I and, say, hey, I saw this on Mascot, and, kind of hope to finalize something that way.
Pretty cool.
Very cool.
Pretty cool.
With our shows, there's a very strict attention to detail and customer service. We think that's very important, because the exhibitors, the vendors, are the lifeblood of the party. And we do a lot of other things and interesting content, but ultimately we've got to take care of the dealers. And we do that through concierge service. You mentioned earlier, they can't leave their booth. So we bring food service to them, making sure they get in and out efficiently, having operations managers on the floor, doing little things like making change, having people to support bathroom breaks and those kind of things. And this is just another incredible layer of providing the ability for exhibitors to sell. And ultimately that's what they're there for, right? It's creating this atmosphere of commerce and the ability to sell. And I've used the word game changer on a couple of occasions, because what this really does is bring the virtual space into the live environment. To attend a card show in the past, you literally had to get up, go to that location, and now there's really no restriction to understanding what dealers have across the country.
Why don't we show a vendor who's never been on the Mascot website how easy it is for them to upload their inventory and not only be a vendor at the show, but be a vendor on the Mascot website?
All right, so this is coming from the perspective of someone who already has some inventory in Mascot. I would highly encourage people, if you've never used Mascot before, if you go to our YouTube channel @with Mascot, you'll see a whole host of demo videos where really, from kind of start to finish, how to get new inventory into Mascot, how to connect all of your accounts, et cetera. So this is going to come from the perspective of, I already have some inventory loaded. I'm going to show you how to add one new item to it. But then what I'm going to show you is how to essentially enable yourself for the Great Lakes Show, and how to put in your booth number, and how to get your inventory kind of available for the Great Lakes Show, so that anyone who's looking for things can actually see it. So if you want to put new items into Mascot, you'll go to what's called Sync, right here, upper right-hand corner. And there are a lot of different ways to get inventory in. One really cool feature that people like is all you need is, for graded material, for graded cards, you just need a serial number or a cert number. After you have that, Mascot essentially handles everything else. So let me go ahead and just pull up just a random serial number. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste the serial number into Mascot just like that. Once it's in there, go ahead and do Sync Collection. What's happening now is you can see the sync progress bar in the upper left-hand corner. Mascot is essentially interacting with PSA's database, where Mascot is pulling in any data that is essentially stored on that serial number in PSA's database. So it's done. Go ahead and click refresh. And this is the card that I uploaded. Actually, really, really awesome card. It's Michael Jordan's True Rookie card in a PSA 9. So I can go ahead and see, if I click into it, I can see all the details of it. So you can see what pulls in. It pulls in a front and back image of the card. Okay, so all that's there, and I can simply just enter in a price where I want people to see what it's worth, or what I'm willing to sell it for. All right, so all my inventory is in Mascot now. Now what I want to show you guys is how to kind of get this inventory ready for the Great Lakes Show. So you're going to go to your little profile icon, upper right-hand corner, then click where it says Trade Shows. You're going to see that I already created my own, sort of storefront. But if this is blank, you could add a logo. You can add a cover image, very similar to, people have created eBay stores. It'll be very similar. I put in kind of my dealer name, ESL Collectibles. Here, there's 2 different ways you can put in a way for people to contact you, right? So I put in just my eBay store. Again, this could be a personal website. This could be an eBay store. It could be a different marketplace. It can be really whatever link you think is most applicable to you. And then a link for your Instagram handle. So if people see something they like, they can contact you directly. Then you're going to scroll down. You're going to find at the bottom the Great Lakes Collectors Convention. Just go ahead and check off this box. When you do that, you'll have the ability to put in a booth number. I'm just going to say, just for the sake of example, I'm booth 1. You guys have put me front and center. So I'm going to go ahead then and do save changes. I'll say dealer information successfully submitted. Okay, so this part of it is done. Now go back to collection. And then just click where it says bulk actions. And click the plus button that says add to Great Lakes Collectors Convention inventory. So now it's taking all of your inventory, which is on Mascot, and making it available for Great Lakes Collectors Convention. So you can see under event inventory, this now pops up. If I click there, I can preview what my inventory is going to look like. So I can click preview store. Let me share this tab with you guys instead. So this is all the inventory that I've enabled for the Great Lakes Collectors Convention. At this point, I'm done. And as soon as we push all the inventory live, which typically happens about a day before the show, all my inventory will be there. And you can see, my images, you can see pricing, how I've priced some of these items, and you can see that I'm booth 1 at the show.
And that took less than 2 minutes. It's that simple to do. Yeah.
We've tried to design this so it's essentially dummy proof. If the 3 of us can figure it out, I'm sure anyone can figure it out. But again, if you have any questions, whatsoever, I would highly encourage everyone to first look at our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube @with Mascot, there's tons of demo videos on just kind of how to add inventory and how to enable it for a show. But then if there are still questions after that, please contact us. We're always available. support@withmascot.com, or if you DM us on Instagram or Twitter, we see everything. We respond to everything. So and no questions too stupid. Believe me, we've heard it all.
Yeah, I bet. No, I think this is terrific. I think our vendors are going to love this. I think they're going to find it's very simple to use. What happens to the inventory after the show?
So after the show, your inventory will still stay in Mascot, right? So from there, if you'd like, and we highly encourage, you can keep your inventory up to date, because our hope is that we continue to do, all of your affiliated shows. And so if you're doing not just the Great Lakes Convention, but also other shows too, your inventory will be fully up to date, where it'll literally be as easy as that final step of the process of just saying, hey, I'm going to the show, I'm booth this, add my inventory. You can also take advantage of what else Mascot does, right? So if you have, secondary market accounts on eBay, MySlabs, TikTok, Whatnot, Shopify, Veriswap, MyCardPost, any of these marketplaces, you can essentially connect those marketplaces into Mascot, and you could send out your listings to all those other places. So if you didn't sell the items at the show, which I really hope you do, and I'm sure you will, but if you don't, or if you buy things at the show, you can stay on Mascot. Your inventory will still be there, and you can take advantage of all the other things that we offer.
I saw, and I can't remember which show, you'll have to tell me, somebody found a $35,000 card or deal through the Mascot site.
So it was a cool story. Yeah, it was Burbank, and there was this dealer who was reluctant to use Mascot. He was skeptical if it was going to work. And after a couple minutes of poking and prodding, I said, just take your 10 best items. I'll do all the work for you. I'll get you enabled. And so he took 10 of his best items. One happened to be a beautiful 61 Fleer Jerry West and a PSA 85 with a Mike Baker gold sticker. And we enabled the show, pushed it live, and literally within 5 minutes, a collector who was actually based in, I think, Florida or Connecticut, I forget which one, saw inventory on the Burbank show site, which of course that show is happening in California. He was not at the show physically. He reached out to the dealer, and they arranged for a $35,000 private sale just because of Mascot. There's tons of other, we've got a lot of examples of similar transactions, not always for $35,000, but we had people who buy
$100 cards, $50 cards, right?
Right, and there's plenty of dealers who will tell you, people came over to the booth and said, hey, I saw this on Mascot. Where is it in your showcase? So it's very exciting. It's really exciting to see it really work for value to be had both by dealers who are taking a little bit of time just to kind of get their items enabled on Mascot. And then for attendees who come to the show, they can't believe that it exists. And the comment that I always share it is, I both can't believe that it exists, and I can't believe that it never existed before. So it's great. And again, we're excited to do this with you guys, and we very much appreciate the partnership.
Yeah, no, it's
Well, it's a
awesome.
great time
Again,
to be alive. Ezra, give us those handles again. The site is withmascot.com. Where else can they find you?
Yep, across all social media platforms, including YouTube, at With Mascot on social media. Our website is withmascot.com.
Perfect. Hey, we appreciate it. We look forward to this partnership and for future shows, and even the other shows that we'll attend. We'll use Mascot. So perfect. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me on, and I will talk to you guys soon.